Hello all, welcome back to the Tech on Toast podcast. My name's Chris Fletcher and it's season 11. This season we have ZenZap as our sponsor for the Tech on Toast podcast. And if you're in hospitality, you know how chaotic managing a team can get. Don't worry, ZenZap is here to change that. Now, I've been using ZenZap for my own team at Tech on Toast, and honestly, I don't know how we've managed without it. It's a game changer for keeping everything organised. Instead of juggling endless email threads, WhatsApp groups, and random sticky notes around my office, we've got everything in one place. Conversations sorted by topic, tasks assigned and tracked without fuss, and files right at your fingertips when you need them. And for you guys in the restaurants, it's a no-brainer. The kitchen team can report supply issues in a dedicated chat. Managers can roll out new specials to the front of house instantly, and task assignments like prepping for a big event, all handled effortlessly. And my absolute favourite part, ZenZap keeps your work life separate from your personal life. No more work messages clogging up my WhatsApp, and no more 10 p.m. pings from my team ruining my downtime. It's intuitive, secure, and works on any device, so you're always connected but always in control. If you're ready to simplify your team's comms and get your evenings back, try ZenZap for free. No card needed, zenzap.co. Go check it out. Big thanks to ZenZap. Big thanks to all of you for coming to listen. Should we get on with it? I think so. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the next episode of the Tech on Toast podcast. And today I'm delighted to be joined, somewhat late on my behalf, Pete Saunders, Head of Relationships at Zonal Hotel Solutions. Pete, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Bit stressed with the travel, the trains.
Well, I thought I'd just get it in there now, right? Because people get bored of me anyway. But I thought we may as well talk about the trains and the fact that they're rubbish. GWR,
and expensive.
Yeah. They just put the day they put the prices up, they're delayed. It's just hilarious. Anyway, we're here, Pete, and we're in Brewdog. And Brewdog looks like it might be experiencing train issues as well because there's nobody here.
Oh, I know. I went upstairs. It's packed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
So it's just everyone's on the first floor today.
I won't take any offence to that. There must be a reason why. And so before we get into it, you're from Oxford, is that right? You live in Oxford?
Yeah, Oxfordshire, West Oxfordshire, just on the edge of the Cotswolds. So yeah, a country bunting in the city today.
I keep finding you lovely tech people all hiding away up there. Joe from Carrero's up there, Matt Grimshaw from UDA, also hiding up there. So yeah, it seems to be, is it the retirement home for clever tech people?
Well, I don't know. I wish I was retiring, and I don't know if I'm clever, but that's very kind.
Okay, well, you'll tick one of those boxes soon. Anyway, Pete, tell us a little bit about you, because obviously what we like to find out normally is about our speakers, find out what's your background, where do you come from?
Perfect. So I am, I don't have any tech background really.
Love that.
Yeah, cool.
All the best people are like that.
So, but I am hospitality from dropping out of school. Basically, I managed to scrape through my A levels. Got a job in a kitchen, trained as a chef. Then went front of house and it was just like that eureka moment. It's like, what, I can do this, make a living out of looking after people. And so worked my way through a couple of restaurants, restaurant manager. Worked in the fine dine game. Was very honoured.
Oh, I never got into that. I did everything apart from that.
Yeah, very honoured. I was general manager for Northcote.
Oh, really?
Up in Lancashire with a Michelin star. Did that. Worked with them for sort of.
Yeah, you've got that vibe
years.
actually.
Yeah.
You've got the I'm better than you vibe.
Wow. I like to think humble, but okay, thank you.
In the nicest possible.
Yeah.
But I can see you lauding it in a Michelin star restaurant, saying, I'm here to help you. I'm here to serve.
Thank you. Yeah. No,
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Calling you arrogant.
This I can't wait for the edit of this.
We don't edit. That would require investment
and time.
Yes.
So did that, and then went into the more volume game and worked with Oakman Group down in the home counties. Started off as GM and then went into more of an area role in the head office. Central reservations and revenue management.
How did you find that? Just going from, because it's interesting, like me, you went from an operational role into a head office-y role. How did you find that transition? I always find it interesting to ask.
I loved getting those evenings and weekends.
It's a really basic question.
Yeah. No,
I had a life.
To be honest, I found it. I did a transitional thing because we did a lot of weddings at the venue that I was GM at, and I didn't really want to give that up. So I had a lot of popping back to host those weddings. So I had sort of.
So you were 1 foot in and out.
Yeah, I was for a bit, and then I went full.
But I actually think that's the right way to do it, right? I mean, it obviously wasn't planned that way, I suppose, and probably for me the same thing. But I actually think having that crossover time really allows you to appreciate what head office does or a central function does, and obviously what the operators go through. So having that understanding is key.
Absolutely. And I felt when I went into that head office role, I was a bit of a disruptor, because I was still acting and thinking like an operator.
A pain.
Yeah, absolutely a pain. And now that I've moved into tech, so I've been with Zonal for 18 months now, and I still see myself very much as a disruptor in our business, in the sense that I'm head of relationships now for Zonal Hotel Solutions. So I am the voice of the customer when we're talking roadmaps and problems.
I love that.
And I quite often my colleagues say, "Hang on, whose side are you on?" I'm like, "I'm on the customer side." Yeah, and we are customer obsessed.
Yeah, and I think you have to be, right. And I think Tech on Toast was born out of that. The fact that I have this footprint in the industry where I've sweated myself through the years. And now I also appreciate what the tech guys are doing, actually. And it's just, there's such a not a void, but there's such just doing these tech stack reviews at the moment. We're in a 4 at the moment, and none of them are easy, right? I know sometimes a simple restaurant tech stack is you need food, stock, labor, pos, boom, and then all the bits that go around the outside. Sorry if I just offended half the tech industry. But then we're dealing with some rooms and some facilities management, those kind of people, and wow, it starts getting, because they want to report, obviously like everybody else, they want it all in one place. They want to report everything into one data function, and that becomes super interesting in terms of integration. And I think
super complicated though as well.
But I think it's going to become more common, right? Because
100%.
People are having to diversify and not just be a restaurant anymore, be rooms, be whatever else. And I think that's going to become commonplace. So the tech guys have got the work cut out, because you've got to kind of come up with a solution that can serve all.
There's if you look at it, there's loads of providers, loads of solutions, and whenever we go to a customer now that has sort of like that legacy tech in place, and business has evolved over the years, and they go, "Oh, we do need X and we do need Y now," and they bolt it on, and then all of a sudden they've got these really complicated tech stacks that don't really work particularly well together. There's lots of workarounds, lots of added complications. It's painful, but sometimes it's better to say, you've got to burn it all down and start afresh and get a proper connected ecosystem.
Which is a really nice segue into the fact that that's where you sit, right? Because I'm looking at a tech stack at the moment, and they've got 62 products on there. I won't say who they are. Canva is one of them. Just FYI, guys, that's not part of your tech stack. Well, it technically is, I suppose. But it's we're not going to integrate into it.
No.
But I think I'm looking at that, thinking the only way to fix this is to go back to the source, the PMS, or the whatever it is, POS PMS. Go back there and say, right, let's rebuild from there. Because otherwise, I feel like you're just playing this kind of bric-a-brac type game.
It's all, you end up with compromises and workarounds, and things don't quite sync properly, and then before you know where you're at, you think you've saved money, but actually it's cost you more, because you've then got a massive team in to support it, and then it doesn't work every time, and you constantly, and between support teams, oh no, it's not our end of the integration, it's their end of the integration, and you think,
love that.
Sometimes it's just easier to have that one throat to choke.
Wow. No one said that before. That one's going on a clip. But it's super interesting, right? Because to build a tech stack for a new restaurant is a joy, right? You look at the best on the market, you work out what you want, get all the data integrations, all your reporting be beautiful for a year, and then you'll open something else that doesn't quite fit, or someone or one of your tech partners might have turned into something bigger or gone away. So it just becomes, so I think that burn it down is I'll use that example. It's probably a good way to look at it and say, look, let's just start afresh. And that's what we try and do, right? Just say, look, start from fresh. This is what you could have won. If you ever watched Bullseye in the 80s, this is what you could have won, and say, and
where are all those speedboats?
I don't know. Mostly in Caerphilly, I think, near me. Most people have got a speedboat or a caravan. And I think it's super interesting now that people can look at that, and it's not that. I'm saying this, it's not that long a journey to do that now compared to what it was 5 years ago, to go back and potentially look at a rebuild.
Absolutely. Gone are the days of on-site servers and hardware and building. I mean, they should have gone.
Yes.
Absolutely. There's still some people hanging on, it's all about breaking down those silos of data. Having that sort of, all the systems talk to each other. I think that's equally, if not more important than the actual end user functionality sometimes.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And tell me about your product, because
Yeah.
I've just taken you down a road we didn't want to go down. I just started talking to you.
That's cool.
It's unfortunately what I do. But tell us about the actual Zonal product in the hotels, because I think it's everybody is aware. So we work with a lot of pub chains, and obviously Zonal are very much flooded in that market in terms of the POS. But tell us what you guys do.
100%. So yeah, Zonal, big player in high street POS, and most pub brands and restaurants are going to know about Aztec EPOS. We are set up as Zonal Hotel Solutions as a sort of a separate department within the bigger organisation of Zonal, and our role is to grow into that hotel space. We have a dedicated property management system that we've had now for about 10 years, and we're all about making sure that when we deliver a solution, that true integration is there. So we're part of the bigger Zonal ecosystem. So from sort of Zonal's tech stack, you've got the EPOS. We can offer loyalty program, gift card, CRM, table management solution, PMS, as I've already said, and we really cover pretty much all the bases that a hospitality company would need for their tech. And again, it's that one supplier providing everything for you, so it's just a bit easier rather than having to talk.
And that's what I was going to ask next. Actually, is it? Do you find that operators are looking more now for that one place to log in? That's probably a bit idiot proofing, but that one partner to talk to, that one partner to hang out with. Sorry, say that again.
Yeah,
don't know what happened there. One partner to talk to, one person to kind of work with when there's issues, one person to work with when there's growth. Is that kind of what you're seeing?
I think so. Obviously, it's not a news story, but the hospitality has a crisis in labour shortages. So wherever they can find,
I think it's ever been a news story. Like,
no,
I know it's bad now.
Yeah. No,
how long were you in it for?
Well, as I say, I've been in the hospitality now for best part of 20 years.
Yeah, same here. For me, these problems are evergreen, right? I know they're exacerbated by some of the big macro things we probably didn't experience. But I don't remember a day going in when people wasn't an issue.
No, absolutely. Yeah, go on.
Maybe I was the issue, but
maybe. No, I've never had it where I've had too many team members to offer
so many chefs.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Three of you go home, please.
No doubles.
No
For the younger people listening, that never happened.
No. So, and with that in mind, companies don't have time now or resource to be, dealing with multiple companies just to try and get something done. And as you say, it then, short term, it might seem like a good fix to do a dirty integration between two systems, and it kind of goes ticks a box. But then you give someone one finger, then they want the whole hand, right? You get that one bit of data.
You're
then
just full of them, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely, full of something. Yeah. But it is true, that you get that one bit of information, you think, yeah, that's useful, and then oh well, wouldn't it be great if X connected to Y and all this. And then if you're dealing with separate companies, that's even more difficult to do.
Yeah, I have this thing called client creep. A lot of freelancers out there, or people who start their own business when you're the one guy at the start, you'll do a deal with a client and you'll say, right, it's X amount a month to do X amount of work. And what'll happen is the client will do that for the first few months, and then eventually go, would you mind just doing that bit extra? Don't worry, we won't pay you. Just do it. Yeah. We'll add it on to next month.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll cover it next month.
Yeah.
And that starts happening. And I think with tech, that's happening a lot, actually, that and not in a negative way, as I was explaining there, actually, more of a, like you said, we see an opportunity here, actually.
Yeah.
So if we could do that, could we do this? I mean, I have my own product now, which we're building, and my poor developer literally sees my Slack coming through, he sees me typing, and I think he just puts himself out. Because he's just like, oh God, here comes another ridiculous question, thinking I can just turn it on in seconds.
Absolutely. But as an ex-operator, I have the same problem. Matt Escott, our head of product in the PMS, he's very kind and he's very accommodating. But I'm sure, really, he's absolutely spitting fire because I get super excited with the customer about this idea of, like, oh my God,
Yeah,
wouldn't
you're
be
a
great.
problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't it be wonderful if it did, and this and why? And surely, isn't that just a case of, 3 clicks and the developer's got it done, right? 18 months has been a steep learning curve for me. That actually development and tech is a bit more complicated than meets the eye.
We're actually doing a piece over the summer where we're going to some head offices in Europe, and we're going to meet customer success. We're going to meet developers, God help us. We're going to meet people behind the product, because I actually think we always tell the story about hotel, about the operators, which rightly so, good for them.
Yes.
But I think it's really important to actually also show how hard the people work behind the scenes to produce great product, right? And to enable these operators to save labor, to save time, to be more efficient, to drive more profit.
Yeah.
Because there's people actually working quite hard, weirdly, in the background doing that.
Absolutely, our dev team are worth their weight in gold. They really, we've got. I'm really proud of the some of the turnaround times that we have on our products for customer development, and we're super keen on. We don't pretend to have all the answers. We're always, as part of my role and the other account managers within the wider Zonal group, we're always talking to customers, finding out what are their pain points, where's the bottlenecks, have they, listening, because, they're living it. We're not. They're living it, and it's important to listen to them and understand and knock those barriers down for them.
I think that's and some people would call you legacy tech, right? As in terms of you've been around for a while.
The core, core sort of product of Aztec, you could definitely label.
And I think sometimes it's unfair a little bit, because legacy would make you believe that it's not good or it's dusty or whatever.
No, absolutely.
But actually, the experience that comes with that legacy, and I've said this to a few guys who have that kind of background, that actually the operators need to not ignore that, actually respect that, and actually understand that that's a huge benefit. They've been, as you said, they've also been around for a while now. They've seen tech change, they've seen what's happening, and some of the, and it's hard to say this, but some of the new guys on the market won't have the ability to listen. As much to a customer, because the resource has to be there to rebuild it, right?
And that voice of experience as well, because it's probably, we've been there, tried that on some of these ideas, so we can guide them. And definitely, we would, wear the label legacy for Zonal with pride.
Yes.
Because we have that experience in the industry, and but we've also lent into development and R&D, so we're not outdated and old hat. We're still very relevant in the space. But we, as you say, we've got that experience. But I can see what you mean, where someone goes, "Oh, legacy," you think, "Oh, yeah."
Well, it's because there's so much tech, right? Because there's so much tech out there. If someone says, "Oh, they've been around a while," and it brings me, because you mentioned integrations, and I think integrations, particularly in the world you're in hotels. I did an event about 5 years ago with a bunch of luxury hotels. So, Savoy, a law group, all these kind of people. And they'll come on stage, and we talked about tech. And the general manager of Savoy, I forget his name now, great silver fox type guy, said, technology will never save hotels. It's about the people. And I pushed him on it a little bit, because I was like, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. However, you do have to modernize. You cannot cope or compete against the other hotels popping up everywhere, unless you are doing this, and you won't have the team to deliver the service you want to deliver.
100%.
And is integrating into hotel stacks, is it harder? I don't have as good as experience in that as I do in the casual dining world, I suppose. What does it look like in terms of a hotel stack? The heartbeat is the PMS, right?
100%. Right. Yeah. The heartbeat and the brain.
Yeah.
So everything you want to feed off the PMS, and I agree that I don't think technology will ever fully replace hospitality. Especially in person to person hospitality, especially in the sort of that end of the market. There will be a rise, I'm sure, in the number of staffless hotel properties, which will serve a perfect purpose for that
market,
for that clientele. But again, it's being able to lean in on your tech stack that actually empowers your team and improves the customer experience, not take away from that customer experience. 100%. So simple things like a virtual concierge or a chat bot available 24/7. because everyone these days, including myself and perhaps you, we're more impatient. We expect everything instantly now,
Today
right?
I was, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, especially when it comes to trains. But that expectation from guests now is now.
Yeah.
That idea of submitting a inquiry form on your website and then waiting for the reservations teams to clock in at 9, go through that inbox and then reply with availability and costs and that back and forth.
Do you know what's really weird? I stay at the other house when I stay in London, in Kensington, and I shout them out everywhere. I love them. They're great. But I still... And I know that they have really quite good tech actually in terms of how they manage their check-in. I think I won't say who they use, but they use one of your competitors probably. But the check-in process is pretty sleek, right?
Yeah.
But I still email them. Is that weird?
No.
Because I really like that. Literally the day before I said, guys, can I have a room tomorrow night?
Yeah.
And they reply, Chris, no problem,
But that's the way of looking at it, and it's giving the guest their choice. Yeah. So if you force them down the chatbot, like, oh my gosh, let's think of banks.
Yeah.
They force you down chatbots and call centers and things, and if you're stuffed if you don't want to. But hospitality is about looking after people. But there will be times where I would much prefer to just jump on and have an automated journey and get it done, because that's what I need for that occasion. There'll be something that will be a little bit nuanced, and I would prefer to email or call or even go in and speak to a person. So unfortunately, for hotels and hospitality businesses, there isn't a one size that fits all, and it's about understanding what your customers' expectations are. It's great for us or I say us as when I was an operator, for us to say, "Oh, this is what my customer wants."
You've been in the trenches, man.
I have. Still got the battle scars. We can't dictate what, and we probably actually don't know what our customers want, and who and so being able to understand that is your first hurdle, and then delivering something that's user friendly and gives you choice is the way forward.
And I think that frictionless part, right? So that it's like, so I always go back to my restaurant analogy. I hate waiting to get in, hate waiting to order, hate waiting for my food, hate waiting to pay. So they're the bit, and they can all be down, and they don't involve, I don't think, necessarily human. You can have humans obviously at the table ordering whatnot, but allowing them space to breathe. A lady came over to us the other day in a restaurant. I was with the kids, and she said to me, "My name's Jessica." She goes, "I'm one of the best waitresses in this business." That's literally her opening line.
Yeah.
And we were like, "What? Okay." I think it was Pete's Pilgrims. Anyway, but we were in there. And she said, "I'm one of the best waitresses in this business." She goes, "However, today I've got 10 tables and I am busy because I'm doing the best job I can." And we were like, "Okay." She goes, "There's a digital version of me just in the corner there. If you can't get me, scan that." She goes, and you can add anything to the table you want, or you can pay and run away if you need to pay. She goes, "But I'll bring it over. I'm here for you, whatever you need." She goes, "But just use my digital helper because it's there to help me get around today." And I just thought, you know what? And it depends on the brand, right? We can get away with that. But I just thought that's such a cool way of saying, do you know what? We're here to serve you. But as you said, we're giving you choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think, no, cool, I'd rather speak to Jessica, and I appreciate that I might have to wait a minute. But if I don't want to wait a minute, bang, I've got the
my
tech.
kid's annoying me. I'm going to order right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And where are you removing friction, I suppose, in the hotel space, I suppose, where your product really can lend some help? Is it around the check-in procedure? Is it all of the above?
All of the above, obviously. Yeah, we're amazing. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, we answered that question. Yeah, we've nailed that. No, but honestly, the fundamental building blocks of the PMS when they first started out was that what they wanted it to be user friendly. So let's be honest, using a PMS is a boring thing. You've got to do it right. It's not, people don't get into hospitality and start working in.
No, I didn't write that my any job
application. Like, I'm absolutely buzzing to click some buttons in the PMS. It's about looking after people. That's why people go into hospitality, and we wanted the guys that were determined and wanted to deliver a PMS where it did what it needed to do, but dead quick, dead easy to understand, keep training costs nice and low, and usability there. So front desk team members or where we sort of really stand our ground, and our core of our customer bases at the moment is that, pubs with accommodation, multi-skilled individuals. So you can get someone that, isn't, doesn't have a HND in front desk operations and can just jump in, have a couple of hours training and shown around the system, and can confidently check someone in.
That's the key, isn't it? Being able to convert people from one job into another who've used an X system at the last job. They need to come to you and go, this system's quite cool, actually. This is interesting. I do want to press these buttons because actually there's less to press and it makes sense.
And I'm not worried that I'm going to get it wrong. And we find that our customers, when they switch over, that their training costs go down. They find their NPS scores for check-in and check-out go up because their teams aren't stressing about a system that's complicated for them to use, and they're just able to give better hospitality. With leaning in on the tech stack, we also offer a contactless check-in and check-out module. So again, this is all about giving the customer the choice to do all that pre-arrival reg card, do the reg card and everything pre-arrival and stuff. So all the boring paperwork and everything's out, and you can just focus on a super warm welcome.
I find check-in at hotels super interesting because you can do all that on your phone or whatever prior to arrival. Then you get there and you have to do some more. It's just, I'm not using yours as an example. But I just find it interesting, right? That you go through that process and still sometimes there's something to check, tap or whatever. But also again in my scenario like that, I'm so weird. I won't do it. I do it even though I don't want to stand there but I think it's because I stay there every week. I think I've become immune to that. Like I've probably broken all their systems, so I'm just like, I'm not the ICP for them.
No,
they're not building stuff around me. I'm just doing what I want. And what is interesting, and I was talking to Molly's Motels about this the other day, that on their when people check in there, they have an issue about people being on the phone when people are checking in.
Right.
So they kind of have to wait for the person to finish the phone call before they can address them if there's only one person on the counter.
See that? Yeah,
and they've got this AI. I think I don't know if they've done it yet, but they were looking at AI to replace to answer all the phones, do all the AI answer all that, say take a booking, take a reservation, do it all for them. So when someone does have that experience of walking in, there's always a smiley face there without being distracted. How is AI, in your opinion, going to affect what you guys are doing, and how are you implementing it into your product? I know it's probably already in your product.
Well, exactly that. So we are leaning in on AI because we're looking to have the tech do a lot of the heavy lifting and be able to, now that we've got lots of data points on customers, not having those data silos and sort of being able to track a customer through your business and through all of your outlets and number of bookings and etc. That's a lot of data to crunch, and it can be presented to you as an end user. It's not, how do we make this useful? AI. We're going to look at crunching that out of the CRM and then actually present the member of staff useful prompts in different circumstances to use to increase revenue, customer retention, and things like that.
Down the same vein as you mentioned before, in the fact that usability, so it's not going to be a distraction. It's just going to further make that UX easier for the user.
Exactly
UX
that.
for the user. Well done, Chris. Well done.
Well, what else is the UX for? But
wow, it's been a long day already. And what about and some of the other stuff I'm seeing? Dynamic pricing. I've got it written down here. Digital payments. Obviously, data is huge. What are you seeing in terms of, I mean, when I say next big trend, I don't want to go all like, global type thing. But what is I mean, I know AI is properly playing a big role in that right now.
Yes.
Because people are talking about it. I think it's almost like when social media first came along. It's like, oh, social media.
Yes.
But now it's just the thing.
Yeah.
AI will be the same, right? That it's just that it looks like it's a bit of a, but actually it's being used in a lot of product already, even before it became ChatGPT came along. It was already there, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But what trends are you seeing, I suppose, coming out of the industry, or what is Zonal focusing on?
Well, again, for us, it's about looking at our customer data and being able to then use AI to crunch it to give that UX. But as you say, with sort of revenue management, for example, we've got integration partners that specialize in RMS tools and things like that. The guys we work with are Room Price Genie, and they're doing some really interesting stuff at the moment on looking at what's coming next. I would imagine we're going to see more of a focus on total revenue management. It's been a buzzword forever, but it's been.
And explain to our listeners who aren't in that world, what's the difference between total revenue management and where we are now?
So traditionally, a sort of a revenue manager would look at the accommodation line, RevPAR and ADR, so average revenue per available room or average daily rate, and seeing what that's delivered it. But but now with sort of total revenue management, which is becoming easier and easier to achieve because we're knocking down those data silos and we're able to cross-reference and track that customer journey through. It's about actually what is that customer spending. So great, I've got them on a negotiated rate of £99, but I can now see that they are then hosting clients in the restaurant, and they're having steak and wine and things like that. And then he's got the customer's got a Zoom meeting, so they've booked the late checkout. So it's about understanding what that total revenue
and I think that's crucial, right? Because, again, using my example, that I will spend a rack rate of whatever at the other house, but then not every day after I check out. Every day I check out, I always have breakfast, but I never prepay because I'm a problem. So I always have breakfast and never prepay, and that always host meetings there before 12 o'clock that day. So I'm bringing revenue in from three different angles that they probably don't account for.
No, and that's what total revenue management would highlight that. It would be then, I think we again, dynamic pricing has been around for ages, but I think we're going to start to see
on rooms.
Yeah, and yes, I don't know how well it would sit on other products.
I'm just waiting for someone to do it. I literally cannot wait.
You say that.
It happens, doesn't it?
Table d'hôtes you've seen for many years. Were one price.
Menu Fiso in college. The $9.99 menu was out there every day, 12 till 2.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a little bit of it there, but I don't know if we get into dynamic pricing by product, but we'll see. There was a bar I went to in Hanover, Germany, and that had it was called the Stock Exchange.
Yeah, I know it.
And that
literally changes in front of your face.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what
they just make that up, don't they?
Absolutely. It was more. It was more.
Well, you buy it anyway. So
Exactly. Yeah. I hate Jägermeister, but it's like €1, so we're all having Jägermeister.
God, we're so pathetic.
I know. Just absolutely hook, line, and sinker.
But that's human behaviour, right? And I do think there is a place for it in restaurants. How you do it obviously is very difficult because you've got to be on brand and whatever your ethos is. So that's what makes it very tricky. But being able to, I think people have been doing it, as you say, for a long time. Family restaurants have been doing it for a long time for targeting a certain customer at a certain time. But having that automated in a digital way is super interesting because it could, depending on what day of the week it is. But I think you'd have to be a particular type of brand to do it.
Probably with everything in hospitality, we'll be playing catch up. I will imagine we'll see it in retail first.
Yes.
Why doesn't Tesco's Express charge more for ice cream when it's really sunny?
Yeah.
Because they have, cold, wet days, they have that ice cream sat there not going anywhere. And
taking up shelf space.
So they could shift it at a cheaper rate, and then oh my gosh, it's all of a sudden it's cracking the flags and beautiful weather, bang, put the price up.
I mean, B&Q are the one. B&Q plants, and and when the sun hits out, like literally the sun literally shone its face this week. I walked in there, everything was gone. Paint, everything.
Why do they do a sale on the Easter bank holiday? Because that's supposedly the busiest DIY of the. But anyway, we digress. They've
probably thought about it deeper than we have.
Yeah. I'd imagine so. The
MD's listening. Well, he might be. You never know. The MD's listening.
Actually, it's like, that's a really good point. Yeah. Why have we never?
Or he's thinking, we don't do a sale. We just pretend we're doing a sale.
Yeah. Like Black Friday prices. Yeah.
Anyway, look, super. I think that
hyper personalization will be the next thing there. We are so used to it now with like our social media feeds. I don't see the same social media feed as you see.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we expect all of our customers to hit this static website.
Yeah.
So there will be some sort of innovation about the website being completely personalized to the user that's coming in onto it.
Yeah.
And then as well, being able to then pull in on that on pricing as well. So, what your intent of purchasing.
Because you're fighting for screen time, right? You're fighting so many different people for screen time now. And even my age group that grew up with Facebook, I suppose, we're very digitally native now. We get it.
Yep.
We're across different platforms. We're using it. But I think on my phone, I always say to people, look at your iPhone usage. It gives you percentages on apps. You've got 100 apps.
Yeah,
You probably use 3 all the time.
Yep.
Sky Sports, Bank.
Yeah.
And email for me,
Yes.
Slack probably. But anyway, you've got 3 or 4 that are your main players, and that is what you're up against. I think you're up against these 4, 5 main players in competitiveness in tech or whatever you're doing in hotels, and you've got to stand out. And I think personalization is the only way you're going to get people to kind of use you more. That's why I stay where I stay, because they know what I like.
Yep.
They deliver every time,
Yep.
and they communicate with me in a way that I appreciate, because I'm old,
Yep.
right? I don't need to do all the other stuff. I just like the fact that the man or the lady emails me from the front desk.
Yeah.
And I know them. I know who they are. So I know that, and I'm like, hey, how are you, kind of thing. So it works totally. So I totally agree. And what about for Zonal then? So the product, is your sweet spot? Is it mainly places with rooms, or are you looking at some of the bigger properties? What's your kind of sweet spot? Or are you going to say everything?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, if you hospitality, basically, but sort of if I was being selfish and looking at my KPIs, as
He hasn't brought them here, by the way.
Yeah, just bringing out a chart that obviously working and helping head up Zonal Hotel Solutions, obviously accommodation. Provider.
Full stop.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're trying to sell overnight accommodation, then we can help you. And that, but with all of Zonal, we've purposely built it as modular, because we understand that not all business needs.
Which is a great point, right? You were talking about the pub with rooms. Jessica, the landlord there, doesn't want the full kit, right? She just wants to be able to manage her rooms properly. Still have a POS to manage the front of house and the pub and whatnot. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And then as business grows and develops, and then they get a second property and a third property, then they want to then plug in a head office sort of overview and have group reporting and things and then they like, actually, what are our customers doing? We need a CRM, and it's plug and play sort of
slowly. The zonal tide wave will bring you everything. And what's really interesting, and I'll leave this as my last point, that we work with a lot of tech stack reviews, and at the moment, basically the main problem is reporting. Yeah, most people have got a product. Let's be honest, most tech is a decent part. The problem is, I think you called it dirty integrations.
Yes.
The problem is the integrations.
Yes.
And also people not fully understanding what plugs into what, right? And I think the most common thread I've got across my desk right now is people saying, we've got all this, 62 products, but none of it talks to each other. Or not none of that's exaggeration. Half it doesn't talk to each other. And our report, we really need a dashboard for the owner. Then we need a hierarchical dashboard for the ops directors. Then we need another dashboard for the GMs and that kind of thing. And I think, and obviously you can go and buy third-party products that do dashboards, but there's no point. You need to pull the data from somewhere. So reporting is a real big issue. How are you guys addressing that? Because that's a big deal, I think, from my side.
Absolutely. So talking to we could have 100 developers just working on customizing reports for businesses.
If you work for me, you would.
Yeah. Because
I've got an idea.
Yeah, exactly. And business changes quickly, and then, as you say, you give them one bit of data, and then they want another bit of data. So we've gone down the route consciously. We've gone down the route of open API. And we then also lean on to a BI platform. So we use Power BI. And that means we can spin up dashboards. So we've got a dedicated team in Zonal Business Services that can support our customers in spinning up dashboard reports. We've got a plethora of templates that we can say, look, you plug and play. These are those for you, but using a BI platform that is built for dashboards and customization reports ticks more boxes for more people, because they can. Different businesses look at different needles.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't they? Yeah, I
think there's a nuance for every. It's really. I always think, this will just be the same as the last one.
No,
but it never is. I wish it was, because I could just copy and paste. But it's just not the case.
It's also fascinating going with this role now, going from client to client, seeing same product, same software,
different delivery.
How they lean on it, and what the bits they utilize and what bits they don't. It's really very interesting.
Yeah, but that's fascinating actually. Having so you're talking about the tech product rather than the restaurant product. But it's super interesting the way that someone told me that when I built our little AI friend Totty, they said that they'll never use it like you think they're going to use it.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing. That's the most exciting part of it, that people will come in and say, oh, why doesn't it do this? You're like, because I'm stupid and I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Our head dev, he said to me, Pete, yep, we can code it and the user will find the way to misuse it. I was like,
that.
yeah. God, yeah.
And look, I mean, I've run out of time. For the second time today, my trains are now with you.
Yep.
What's the best way to get hold of you guys at Hotel Solutions or you personally?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn. I'm trying to complete it. I'm always
that mean?
posting. Well, I don't know. It's
You do actually get a little badge now, apparently. If you got a badge.
Not yet. That's one.
well,
I'm
then-
going
then
for the
you're not
badge. So
completed.
yeah. Please connect with me on LinkedIn, Pete Saunders, or hit our website. We're Zonal Hotel Solutions, or you can go through the main Zonal website as well. It's all linked together now. So
Very cool. And look, Pete, we're
great
doing something. We know we do service here every year in February, which is our mini trade show.
Yep.
But we're now doing room service. See what I did? I took service and I put
Put room in front.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So we're doing it for hotel people, and we're doing it in October. So we'll definitely get you guys involved. That'd be
See you
really
in
cool.
October, if not before.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. And we're talking to kind of a boutique level, and then some of the luxury end as well. So we're kind of mixing it up a little bit. But super. I think the hotel world, particularly for us at Tech on Toast, is super interesting. We want to lean into it a lot more this year and really understand a bit more of the complexity around what you guys do.
Yep.
I think Pete's fantastic meeting him in person. I've met him. I think I met you once on a video call. I think you may have just been there.
Yeah, possibly. You've
don't
got a
think it was
better
me.
memory than me then. So
Yeah, no,
apologies.
there was four of us on there, and I think you were just there. I remember you.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think super interesting. I think if people are in that space and they've got rooms or accommodation, they need some help, just reach out, right? They can help you complete LinkedIn and just drop you a message and talk to you there. But
100%.
if not, Zonal on the marketplace as well, so give us a shout out and we can help too. So that was it. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank
Back
you
to
very
Oxford.
much.
What's the plan?
Well, we're in Brewdog, Waterloo, so I don't know. Is it?
He's going to drink and
it's
play on the
like-
slide.
Yeah. If the boss ain't listening, I'm having a pint going on the slide.
Well, he's not listening now, but he might be in about 2 weeks. So
Okay, I'll come up
he
with a
didn't
plan
go
in
anywhere
2
near the
weeks.
bar.
Yeah.
All right.
Radio was for the radio.
Chris told me. Look, thank you very much for coming, Matt. I appreciate it. Thank you for being patient with us. And
That's no
we'll see you all next week.
Cheers. All the best. Bye now.
Bye-bye.